All right. Silent Hill 2. Gonna take one last look at Silent Hill 2 now that I've beaten the game. I actually beat it a little while ago, but I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it one last time. I thought it was a great game, great looking game. Really enjoyed the atmosphere, especially in the last area of the game, which I guess we will take a look at here. This is the Lake View Hotel. Obviously, if you've played the original, you'll remember this part of the game. It's, again, the last area of the game. And this is just so happens to be where one of my save games is at this point where you have to get rid of all your items before you can get onto this elevator. But obviously, we're not going to go that way. I just kind of wanted to give you a look at the hotel here. This is a great looking just area of the game. Again, lots of atmosphere. And again, the lighting in this game, the GI when the lighting's coming in through the windows. Just overall looks great. Yeah, you know, this game, like I said, I only ever played through once on the PS2. So like I wasn't super well versed in the game. A lot of parts I didn't quite remember. So it was fun going through the game again, and just, yeah, look at the lighting hitting the wood floors. It's just a great looking game, and we'll go outside, show you what this place looks like from the outside. And yeah, with these flowers and the fog, this is the again, the Lake View Hotel, last area in the game. And yeah, I had a great time playing this game. And I just wanted to show it off and talk about it one last time. Again, I beat it a little while ago, but I thought we would just would step in and take one last look at the game. Just, that was a great looking game. Stutter issues aside, I've got it locked at 60 right now, and we're still at 1440p, but I did turn the XESS up from balanced to quality, so slightly sharper image than how I was playing the game for the first little bit, because it does look a little bit better. Does look a little bit sharper with this turned up to quality, and I think I'm still getting roughly 60 frames per second most of the time. Again, stutter aside, right? So yeah, and as you can see there, I thought we came in through there, but maybe not. I'll give you a good little look at the Lakeview Hotel, but again, I don't remember. I don't remember everything. I think it's 3 floors. And, yeah, can't get up to the 3rd floor that way. But I believe there's another stairway over here. Maybe? Yep. You get up to the 3rd floor, and yeah, if you remember the ending of the game, eventually this whole place is up in flames as you're trying to work your way out. But I won't give too much away there. We'll load my it's my New Game Plus. I had just started to play the game over. Once you beat the game, obviously, and you unlock New Game Plus, and played for like an hour maybe, and I had actually already found a few areas that I did miss the first time through. So, the burger place here. First time going through the game, didn't realize that you can go into this place and Yeah, there's some stuff in here I'm obviously not actually playing. Worry about picking up things, but yeah, we got a chainsaw. Which is like super OP, and you could just mow through enemies, so that's pretty fun. So yeah, I'm on the same difficulty, so I think I was on like normal for the like action difficulty, and then normal for the puzzles. But I was thinking if I was going to go through this game again, I should probably turn the action difficulty like up a level and turn the puzzles down a level, because like I already went through the game, you know, with the puzzles on like normal. So I don't really need to go through like all those puzzles again, but you know, having the enemies, the kind of difficulty there, having that turned up a notch would definitely be fun. Again, with the chainsaw, it's not a challenge, I don't think. Going through this whole game with the chainsaw, yeah, if I want to go through the whole game again. But yeah, there's again a couple spots I had missed. The burger place. There was like a pet store somewhere around here. And again, this restaurant looks really awesome inside. You know, the GI and the lighting, just the way the lighting comes through, the natural lighting from outside into the buildings. You know, it looks good. It's a good-looking game overall. The reflections on the ground, again, those are ray traced. So even though... Whoa. Oh god. I'm not gonna die here, am I? Jesus. Yeah, we better health up there. As I was going to say, hitting the guys running around on the ground with the chainsaw, maybe not the easiest thing ever, but once they're right in front of you, you could just like cut them in half. But yeah, I guess like a lot of times in this game, you're kind of running down the middle of the street instead of like on the sides of the street, and so you might miss. You know, again, you're looking at there, bud. Let's go. You might miss some of the things that you can, some of the places you can go into. And, I mean, I hope I run across it again. There was a pet store somewhere that, I found that I had missed the first time through. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably not be able to find it now. But there was a pet store, and then there's some other spot I found that I missed the first time through. There's like a back door to a place, and there was like a lock on it with like a push button combination thing. And yeah, I don't think you can go in here. But yeah, again, the reflections on the ground, the puddles look great, and those are ray traced. Even when you have ray tracing turned off, it's like the Lumen software ray tracing. And so yeah, like a really good looking game. I really loved the atmosphere overall. You know, some areas I liked better than others, but definitely goes off with a bang with that beautiful Lakeview Hotel at the end of the game. And yeah, so this again, running this on a 5800X with a 6750 RX 6750 XT is my my GPU, 12 gigabyte, kind of mid-range at best. I would say entry level into mid-range. You know, at the time it was $200 Canadian cheaper than a RTX 3070 Ti with similar performance, raw performance anyways, rasterized performance. And yeah, Intel just released those new Battle Mage B580 GPUs. So I mean, those for being a 12 gig GPU at $250 US is pretty impressive. I'm not sure how my card stands up with that. Well, those are a little bit faster than a 4060. My card's a fair bit faster than a 4060, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. But apparently the Intel cards are actually pretty good at ray tracing. So, again, I assume in ray tracing, that Intel card definitely would beat mine, which at the price is just ridiculous. But yeah, this is a great looking game. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, other than the stutter issue aside, you know, it's kind of a thing, you know, just is what it is with Unreal Engine 5. A lot of UE5 games lately getting kind of bad publicity, I guess you could say. A lot of videos going around lately, kind of just questioning if, you know, Unreal Engine 5 really is kind of like the way forward that we should be going with games. To me, it was kind of a breath of fresh air, I guess, to see that new Indiana Jones game. Was it the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle or something like that? I don't know if you guys have seen that game, but yeah, it's like id Tech, right? It's made by the guys that made those, like, was it Wolfenstein 2? One of the last two Wolfenstein games, I guess. It was Machine Games or something. But yeah, to see that on id Tech, and it's kind of a mixed thing because it requires a card that has ray tracing support to even run, but like once you can run it, it runs pretty well from what I've seen. So even on like if you've got an RTX 2060, you'll probably be able to run the game pretty well, and it doesn't have a lot of stuttering issues from what I've seen. You know, but on the flip side, if you have a GTX 1660, a card that actually, correct me if I'm wrong, the 1660 came out after the 2060, as it was basically a cost-reduced 2060, where they just took the RT cores out and the tensor cores out to have a cheaper option. And just love this game. It looks so good. Some of these areas, but yeah, anyways, that Indiana Jones game, you have to have ray tracing for it to even run. It uses RTGI, and there's no fallback, and the lighting in that game looks really good. And there is like a full path traced option now if you have like a really high-end card, which would be great, which would be nice, right? But like, yeah, it's still just overall, it's a really good looking game that runs really well overall. If you've got like a 3060 or a 4060 and you're playing it on like medium, and it's a pretty good looking game that runs pretty well, it's nice to see something different. But I guess going forward, we're probably going to see more games that do require GPUs with ray tracing, which, again, for people that have you know, GTX 1660s. Is there a 1660 Ti? I don't remember. 1660 Super, I think. You know, you probably bought that card in the last 4 years. 2020, I think, when those came out. Like, they're not that old. And you can't run... and you can't run the latest games at all now. So... yeah, on one side it kind of sucks. You need ray tracing to even run the game, but on the flip side, if you can run the game, even with just a RTX 2060, 3060, 4060, you know, and you've got the obviously the settings are set appropriately. The game really only cares, I think, about how much VRAM you have. Like if you have, yeah, this is the spot here. Yeah, I found this door here with this padlock on it that you can get the code for. But yeah, if you have a card with like 8 gigs of RAM, then you have to run it on like medium, I think. If you have a card with like 12 gigs of RAM, you can run it on like high. And if you have a card with like 16 gigs of VRAM, then you can run it on like ultra high, I guess. Something like that. Like the card, the game mostly just cares about if you have ray tracing support, and then how much VRAM do you have, within reason. Obviously, I'm sure there's certain settings that are like more shader heavy and whatnot. But yeah, certainly the game has a less traversal stutter than what we've been used to lately with a lot of these UE5 games. And like I said, it's just nice to see something different. And, you know, I'm having too much fun here. And yeah, I don't know what my point was, but yeah, I haven't updated my PC since the GPU. I'm trying to remember if that was 2 years ago now, because it was around like January. So I think it would be 2 years this January when I updated the GPU. And yeah, I'm still running the Ryzen 5800X, 32 gigs of DDR4. No, I'm on AM4, DDR4. Very much so last generation, with my mid-range at best GPU. But I don't know, I just don't feel like I really want to upgrade, to be honest. You know, and working where I work, as some of you know, I work at a computer store, and like, you know, I'm seeing always seeing the latest and greatest stuff. You know, the 7800X3Ds right now are kind of hard to get, and they're still going for over retail, and I could get one for a fair bit under retail. You know, if I wanted a 9800X3D, maybe not so much. Even working where I work, those are hard to get. I mean, last week we got like 4 of them in, and they sold out within minutes. So, but yeah, even the 7800X3D is still pretty hard to get. Still generally selling for a fair bit over retail. And I could get one, you know, a fair bit under retail if I wanted. So it's always kind of tempting. And, you know, if you're into PCs like me, they're fun to build, and you're kind of tempted to sometimes just want to upgrade for the sake of upgrading. But I don't know. I would remind you that you probably don't need to upgrade. Oh, here's the pet. Here's the pet store. Yeah, so I had never seen, I'm pretty sure the first time playing through, I had not gone into this pet store here. So, yeah, I forget what was in here, but pretty cool, right? Just another little place I missed. And yeah, it is just fun to find places like that you miss. Oh, it's right beside the it's right beside that restaurant there. Wow, right there. And I missed. Pretty sure I missed that the first time through. But yeah, as you can see, my PC runs this game fairly well. Again, we're at 1440p, kind of like medium settings with the XeSS on quality. And yeah, overall, running at 60 frames per second, I think most of the time, with the 60 FPS lock on. Initially, when I was playing this game, again, you may remember, I had an unlocked frame rate, and the stutter was a lot worse. So yeah, turn that 60 frame per turn that 60 frame cap on, and your stutter won't be as bad. You know, there's still a little bit of traversal stutter every now and then, but yeah, overall the game runs great. It looks amazing. I really enjoyed it. I always like to remind people, you know, when we see these latest, you know, the 7800X3D and the 9800X3D, you know, the fastest gaming processor. The 7800X3D was the fastest gaming processor in the world when it came out. And really, at that point, there wasn't a lot of competition. They didn't need to do a lot. No matter what, they would have come out with the 9800X3D. And as long as it was a little bit faster, it would still be the fastest gaming processor in the world. And was a fair bit faster, wasn't it? But you got to remember, when people are benchmarking CPUs and they're saying, like what, a 7800X3D is 20% faster in games than like a 7700X, for example. You got to remember, man, that's, playing like esports games at like 1080p low or medium, where you've got really, really high frame rates in those games. And that's where you can say there's a 20% difference. There's no GPU bottleneck. And I only play single-player games. So if I'm playing games like this at 1440p, and I'm trying to push my GPU to get the best graphics, because it's not an esports game, I'm more worried about having, nice graphics compared to having the absolute, highest frame rate. That 20% drops to like a 5% difference, right? And if you're playing games at, 1440p Ultra with ray tracing and no upscaling, just like if you're playing at 4K, that 5% could turn into 0%. You're 100% GPU bound. So, you gotta keep that in mind. To say, oh, I could get a 7800X3D and it's 20% faster in games. Well, it depends. Are you playing single-player games with AAA graphics at 1440p, high or ultra? Or are you playing esports games with, more basic graphics where you're maybe playing at 1080p low to get, 300 frames per second or, whatever. You got a 240 hertz monitor and you're trying to hit 240 hertz or 240 frames per second. And, maybe the 7700X can only get 230 frames per second, and the 7800X3D can get 280. I don't know, but that's the kind of differences that they're talking about, right? It's when you're at really high frame rates that you're going to see that 20% difference. So just remember that. You probably don't need to upgrade. Don't fall for the, just because don't fall for the hype. Don't feel like you need to upgrade if you don't. Unless you just really want to for fun. But, I just got to remind people of that. I just don't feel like I really need to upgrade. It would be nice to be on AM5, DDR5, even with just a 7700X, or again, I can get a 7800X3D under retail. Sure, it would be nice to be on a current gen platform, but I just don't feel like I need it. I'm still overall, the stutter in this game aside, which, even if I had a 7800X3D and DDR5, it's probably still going to stutter almost as much. So, yeah, the stutter in this game aside, it's just like the single-player games I'm playing, I just don't feel like I need to upgrade. I'm still very happy with my PC. Like I said before, it's been very stable. I've had no issues with it. It's my Gigabyte B550, whatever the hell it is. Oris B550 Pro or something or other. I've had for 3 years now, I think. 3 or 4 years since I upgraded my motherboard, CPU, and RAM, and then I upgraded the GPU almost 2 years ago. Just don't don't feel the need to upgrade at all. I'm really I'm still very happy with my PC, and that's kind of what it's all about. Yeah, it's fun to build them, and sure. I don't know. I mean, I can afford it. I just don't feel the need. You know? I just don't. I'm still really happy with my 5800X and this mid-range at best GPU. And yeah, this game looks great. It's running at pretty much 60 frames per second. I think pretty much consistently, almost all the time. Stutter aside, again, stutter aside, absolutely. In this game, we gotta mention that stutter aside, traversal stutter aside. It's just it's a good looking game. I had so much fun with it. Wanted to talk about it one last time, and I guess this was like the last video of the year. As holidays are coming up, I generally don't put out videos the last couple of weeks of the last month there, so like happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. I'll be back in the new year with videos. So yeah, blabbering on way too long. I just love running around this town and just looking at the buildings, and it's got that atmosphere, right? I mean, they nailed it for the most part. Some of the fonts and the text for storefronts, I think they could have gotten, I don't know. Like some storefronts, you know, the storefront has well, I don't know, it's just like a generic cocktail thing, right? It's like the fonts are all kind of generic. Could Fashion Boutique maybe have it's got a unique font, and then there it's just kind of generic looking without like a logo per se. You know, sure, I have some minor complaints, but man, the reflections in the water and everything looks great. Just walking down the sidewalk looks great, and you know, the style of the street lamps and everything. And yeah, geez, loved this game. I really did. And yeah, I don't know what I'm looking forward to next. Indiana Jones probably, but I'll probably wait for that game to go on sale. This game I bought at full price as soon as it launched, and that's not normally me. I'll usually just wait for the game to go on sale. But yeah, not playing much right now, other than maybe some retro games. And I don't know, what I'm going to be playing next on PC. Maybe The Last of Us Part 1 I still haven't played The Last of Us Part 1. I have a PS5, barely played my PS5. My PS5, I've pretty much just played Gran Turismo 7 on. So, and I was like, I would buy The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 if I just so happened to stumble across like a used copy at half price, but like the game's half price on Steam right now, so I can get the game for like $40 Canadian, which I cannot find a used copy for that cheap. So I don't know, like I kind of want to play that on PS5 and not PC, because like it's The Last of Us, I played through the first time on PS3, and then I played through it again on PS4, and it's like, I don't know, what else am I gonna play on my PS5? I don't know. But if it's $40 on Steam, I'm a little tempted there. So I could play through that. Yeah, anyways, I guess I should probably call it here. Been fun running around Silent Hill. And yeah, again, game looks great, runs great. Even on medium settings here, this is not maxed out by any means. And the ray tracing can look even better if you enable hardware ray tracing, if you've got a graphics card that can do ray tracing fast enough. But the software ray tracing, I mean, it gets the job done. Right? I guess. Yeah. Anyways, that will be it. See you guys later.